is my ongoing goal to be able to support you as the very best way that I can. And in order to do that, I really need to get to know you a little bit better, what your personal needs are for supporting you as a parent on this journey of children with autism, and with your child, what their needs are and what you would like to help them most with. Because there may be many things, but there's usually a few top pieces that are very, very important to you that you know your child is really struggling with and you would like help with. And so in order to find out how I can support you best, I have created a short quiz. It's at naturallyrecoveringautism.com/quiz. And if you take that short quiz, you'll be able to give me some information and I'll get back to you with some results and how I can direct you to the resources that I feel would help you best right now for where you are on this journey and for what you need for your particular specific child's needs. So I hope it's helpful. Again, go to naturallyrecoveringautism.com/quiz. Hi there, and thank you again so much for being here and listening in as a proactive parent, because there are resources available to help you if you are persistent and continue on your education. I know from my own experience, that was my story too. My son I was told to drug him and try behavioral therapies, but I really wanted answers to the causes behind his symptoms that were really making his life uncomfortable. And I just wanted him to live his life to his fullest potential and find out what that was, because I knew he was not able to be himself. And by working through a lot of the biological issues, there are things that then the brain can be allowed to function at optimum. The body can be healthy again, because there are a lot of infections and toxins and other pathogens that are residing in our kids' bodies that are preventing their system from being calm and being able to focus clearly and, even being social. So it's really important, I know, for you to hear inspirational stories and hear from other moms, even besides myself, to know there is some reality to the fact that your child can get better and what have different parents' experiences been. So I'm very excited today to be able to have a guest with us who is another autism mom, just like us. And she has her own story that she's going to be sharing with you today, because I'm hoping to just bring you some inspiration and some hope and of course also offer you some guidance. So today we have Nanti with us. So Nanti, again, thank you so much for taking your time to be with us and share your story today.
Okay, Karen, thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to, come and tell my story to other moms that, might be thinking like, can I try this? They have doubts sometimes, to even me before I first started your membership, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this because I've started other stuff that, didn't give me enough, what I wanted. So I said, let me try this because she has a lot of positive, attitude, about this. So I started. But before we get into starting your program, I want to just give a little brief, how Kaelan was diagnosed and how we started this whole journey. He was the first diagnosed when he was, I think, 28 months. 28 months. So I have a daughter who is a typical child. And when he was 28 months, so we started seeing that he wasn't talking. So, and then I reached out, my sister-in-law told me to reach out to, infant and toddler, which I did. So they came and did their assessments and all that. And they find out that he has autism. So, but I wasn't satisfied with what they told me because,
What did they tell you?
They said that he has autism. So I didn't want to hear that. because I'm like, okay, you guys are not the doctors. So I'm gonna go in and then go to see the doctors, what they're gonna tell me. So, which I did. I went to, I made an appointment at the Children's Hospital with the developmental doctor. First of all, I talked to the pediatrician, and she said that by then she said she doesn't see anything. She said sometimes, boys are just, they don't talk early. And I said, okay. So I said, she referred me to the developmental doctor. I went and saw him, and he told me that what the school said is true. What the county said, the school system said is true, because he also did his assessment. So, but he said before that, I want you to go and then do other assessments and see if and then we come up with the result, what he thinks. I said, okay. So we did everything and then came back. He said that we finally, he's finally autistic. So I cried.
Mm-hmm.
I cried, Karen, and I'm like, now I have like zillions and millions of thoughts coming in my head, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And where will I even start? And how his, future is gonna be, and when I get like old, how, and then all those started coming,
Yes.
So I'm like, I didn't know what to do, and there was nobody to help me, figure out what to do or what path to put me on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was alone and with my husband, So what I did, I wasn't well educated about autism thing. So, and then since I have other friends that have autistic kids, so, and they're not informed as well. So, and I went with the flow, and then just relying on doctors telling me what to do. And the prognosis was even worse. They did not tell me if it was going to be, healed, or they like, there's nothing, he's not going to, be cured and all that stuff. So that was even like, like a bomb coming hitting my head.
What am I doing this for then? Like, what is it possible we can help him? At least tell me something. Right?
Yeah. So I said, is there any way, any doctor? Like, oh, well, I wasn't familiar with the functional doctors then, because he was 28 months. Now he's 11. Okay. So I've been on this road for a long time, like you did.
Yeah.
So when when what I did was I just was listening to them, and wasn't really doing any much research about the autism, and then when he started talking, and then that's what I said to myself. I said, you know what? And that was the age of, I believe 4 or 5 years old. He started talking, picking like 3-letter words, So I said, because, usually I'm not a junky person, like eating junk foods. I don't drink sodas. I don't like all stuff like that. So
good.
Usually, his diet was pretty decent, what I would say. But, still, what you don't know, you don't know. There was some stuff like MSG in the food, some of the food that I didn't know about all this. Right. Until, I got into your program. And so I was, searching. Now I started searching. I searched from like the 4 years old when he started kindergarten. Then, he's been on non-public school all these years, and he's still there. So he never get chance to go to, our residential school. But so when when he was 5, and I started digging into it. The talking is coming a little bit, and I don't even know which one did I start out first. And I think I was about the food. So they said that, to put him on gluten-free, and which I did. And then that helps a lot, a little bit, but not too much.
So you were finding bits and pieces that were helpful,
Yeah,
but you
like a
knew
little
there's something
at
more
the
here.
time.
Yeah.
But there's so much there,
There is. Yes.
so much information. You don't know what to pick, and you don't know what would work. And
it's overwhelming. Yes.
So you don't even know who is telling the truth, who is not. Like, I was just all over the place. I don't know, no structure, no guidance, from the doctors when I go, oh, Kayla is okay, he's autistic, there's nothing, he's gonna be the same. So, but I did not want to take that. I said, I'm gonna make sure this child get healed, because, where I come from, we basically eat most of the time organic stuff,
Good.
and then we cook every day, so junk food is not in our, or like things in the cans, food in the cans. We don't eat stuff like that, That was like when I was maybe growing up, but I don't know now. Things has been changed. Things have changed. So, but so I told the pediatrician, I changed. I said, if you're not gonna help me, I know that. So they thought that I was crazy when I say I'm gonna heal my child. So she's like, okay. So I left. I went to another doctor, and they helped a little bit. But when I asked them to do some of the testing done, and they didn't wanna, they're like, why would you do that? I'm like, why don't I wanna know that? So it's like, they don't wanna do it. I don't know if they were afraid of me finding out the truth, and, so I just was like that in the limbo and stuff. So until, I find your and all this time, Kalen would run away at the younger age. When we first started, he would run away from, school people, school officials. And then he has, temper tantrum. He has a very bad behavior. And so, but when I turn on your program, it changed our lives, because not only I was informed myself for my own health.
Yes, absolutely.
Also, and also because if you have to change, yourself first. Then, the kids will pick that, So, but if you don't change your health, how are you going to help other person to get better?
The whole family needs to get healthy.
The whole family. But even though sometimes my husband, he will sneak out and get some stuff.
I know that one too.
Anyway, but I tell him, please don't give it to the kids.
Right.
Don't give it to them. You can do it fine, but don't give it to them, especially, my son. So, but, we have to write, signature. We have to make some, copies and then do signature about that, But anyway, so when I first started your last year, and Kaylin was a little bit like a lot of, before the program, if he was fidgety, he was he has calmed down a little bit, but not as much. He still had the behavioral intervention at school, but since we started your program, he has lost the behavioral intervention.
Wow, that's fantastic.
That is out of his IEP, and also there are two other things that is out of his IEP. That's behavioral intervention and the ADHD. So the school psychologist, we just had his testing done last year, and she said that he no longer have that. I was like,
wow.
so I said, yeah, I said, this is working, you know.
How did that feel to you? Because
yeah,
you did this,
like,
right?
Okay, yeah, I said, especially the behavioral part. I said, oh my God, that is no longer there. And now the present school he's now, they are recommending him to another school because that school has behavioral kids, you know. So now he's no longer fitting that school. So,
wow.
So a lot of stuff are coming, and then he has become so, you know, polite and calm, and he's now sleeping through the night, you know.
And that's huge for the family, isn't it? Yes.
Yes, he's following directions. Now he can ride his bicycle, you know, he couldn't do before.
And he couldn't before. Wow.
Yeah, I've been trying to teach him for that. Even though I don't know how to ride it, my husband knows, but he wouldn't teach him. I don't know how to ride bicycle, but I taught him to. My kid.
Well, his fine motor skills were obviously improving.
Yeah, he's improving a lot. And he he wasn't a picky eater. He would eat what I give it to him. If I tell him not to eat something, he will not eat that. No, so yes, so he's not a picky eater, but he's just like so fidgety, but now he's calming down. So what I have found out about your program also is the sensory issues, you know, the sensory issues and the primitive reflexes. So I think that now the insurance, gosh, the insurance now, the people, the network, the people that were in the network, they were not, they don't know about sensory. The OTs, they don't know about the sensory. So when I called, when I called them and asked, do you guys have, because I don't want to waste my money and my time going there, and that is working. So now I had to file the network deficiency to go out and get the service he needs. So which they approved him. So now we are working with an OT, an experienced OT in the sensory and the primitive reflexes. So I think once he accomplished that, I think I'm done, honestly.
And thankfully, you knew to even interview the first occupational therapist. Some of these people are not educated in autism, and it is astounding to me, honestly, that they can be in that profession and not be educated in sensory processing disorders. That is to me their job. And so how can they not know?
Yes. I'm like, this is just even like the primitive reflexes, you know, before you were even born. They should be taught about this in schools, you know, to help this kid, because I know this autistic kid, they have a lot of sensory issues.
Oh yeah, you know? Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know, if you don't know this, even right now he has OT at school, he has speech therapists at school, and he has physical therapists outside school and OT outside school. So, you know, we are all working, but, you know, the school, they want to do what they want to do. So
have you noticed, Nanti, that as you worked to heal up his biology, and we'll talk about maybe the steps that you noticed made a difference along the way, because our listeners are probably very curious to hear that. Did you notice that as you were working to heal up his biology, the pathogens, toxins, infections, other things going on there, that these therapies were then actually more useful in your time and your money that you were spending on them, or anything that they were working better, or that he was able to do those things versus before he wasn't really able to as much?
No, before, no. No, I mean, there are so many things that we've tried, he did not work. They did not work. You know, I did the ILS, you know, integrated listening thing.
Okay.
I did that for, they said it's 2 weeks. So we did that for like 6 weeks. I'm like, nothing's working. I have to stop, you know, because I don't want to be.
That was my story too. Yeah, absolutely.
Wasting my money.
Yeah.
I said, anything that doesn't work for a month, I don't see any result, I am not gonna, you know, keep doing that. So there are a lot of things he couldn't do before, but when I started your program and I was healing, so I put him completely no gluten, no gluten. He was eating only organic food. So I put him straight organic food because I like juicings and stuff, fruits and stuff, but fruits, I didn't give him fruits. So for at least 4 or 5 months, I didn't give him fruits, and he wasn't doing it. He wasn't on any sugar food. And after like 5 months, I see that he had his writing, he couldn't write. Now he's writing better, you know, in lines. Yeah. So his fine motor is improving. And also Kaylin could not before your program last year, because we started April, it would be a year next month.
Okay.
And Kaylin would not stay home by himself. You know, he would have anxiety and fears. But now the bus will come and drop him in front of the door. He has his own key. He has his own cell phone. We just got him that. And he'll open the door, get home, because I have to go pick up my daughter. So when he come home, we are not home. So I taught him all that. Now he's more calm, patient, and not a lot of anxiety like he used to have. So now he stay home until we get home, you know, which would take like maybe an hour or an hour and a half, you know. But sometimes even if I go longer, he's fine. So, you know.
Well, and there's that independence that, you know, earlier you were mentioning it. What happens someday when I'm old and I pass and I'm
I'm still thinking about that. So that's the one that is motivating me to heal him. I'm like, once he's out of high school, I do not want to deal with him anymore. He has to be independent to make his own life, you know, without me, you know.
And be able to. That's the thing.
So we can be free also, you know. We don't have to think where he's gonna be or live with us, you know, for the rest of his life. Or, you know, sometimes I'm like, what about if I die? What will happen to him? You know? So all these things are pushing me to help him be independent and, you know, lose this diagnosis. So
and live to his greatest potential, to really be able to be who he is. I mean, he wasn't able to ride a bike. Now he can ride a bike. He was having tantrums and screaming all day. Now he's calm and peaceful.
Now nothing.
You know, that's a total, you know, improvement in his quality of life. And that's really, you know,
I'm like, I'm shocked. Like during the little period of time we've been on the program and how he has done. And, you know, of course, with some of the therapy too, is all together, you know, but with your guidance, you know, and what to do and the information over there that you have, and it's really helped me help him, you know. So but I tell everybody that this is not easy job, you know. It's very hard, but you have to put the work to it. You have to, even though Karen can provide you all the resources, in the world, which she has done, you have to put your work to it, because if you don't, it's not going to work.
Right. Yes.
You know,
Thank you for saying that. That is true.
You have to be consistent. You
Mhm.
have to be patient. You have to be persistent. So those four, you have to do those. Put your work, consistency, persistence, and patience. Those four,
Yeah.
if you don't have those, it's not going to work.
And you'll
And
see from the very beginning when somebody comes into the program, because I lay it out like the roadmap and sequentially, but I'm like, it's one thing at a time. You're going to want to be eager and try and do more too fast. Don't. This is not, you're not in chaos anymore. You're not alone. Now it's the step by step, but it takes patience because it takes time to very slowly implement things.
Yeah.
And give the body a chance.
I'll tell people, you know, I'm still on it. Even if I finish, I'm still on
it takes time, definitely.
Because, you know, it's going to take me time, you know, for him, because you think like they are healed, but you still have to keep going on for years, because they've been doing this for years. So it's not only 1 year, 2 years that you see that they made great improvement, that you will say, okay, I'm done. No, you have to keep doing this for a period, a length of period time, for them to heal the guts completely and then be normal, because it's gonna come back, you know.
Yes, the susceptibilities are there, so you have to get them to the health and then provide the maintenance and, you know, preventative measures.
Yes, and then I will tell everybody that listening to me, I haven't been paid to do this, but I was skeptical about getting on the program. But today, what I know today, I am really grateful that I really went ahead and did it, because the progress my son has done from then to now is just remarkable. So I would not, you know, I would not even think twice, you know, or I would not even regret doing this. Like I said, I'm still on it until maybe 2 more years. I know completely that he's really okay now. Then, and then, you know, and then by then I'm going to be introducing stuff little by little, you know, and see if there's no regression, you know, about, you know, his overall health. Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, it's so really wonderful to hear you share that. And also, I think, because there are a lot of people who are feeling a little skeptical and wondering, and I'm certain that you have already helped inspire. What was it that made you decide, okay, I'm feeling skeptical about seeing, you know, this program I heard about, or however you found it? What was it that made you go, okay, I'm going to try this, instead of just being skeptical and walking away? You chose to step into it. And what do you know what it was that made you do that?
Because you were in my shoe before.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
So I'm not just a doctor saying, oh, that must be hard.
Difference. Yes. If you did not have any story like that, I would have been more even skeptical to join the program. But you were in my shoes one day, so you know how we feel.
Yes.
You know how stressful it is, and you know the pain we the mothers have when we have our child that is dysfunctional, you know. So it's just so hard to put your trust in so many people there that they're claiming that they're helping. They're not. To me, they're all after money, you know, and they're not helping. So the membership, you know, to me, is so cheap that, you know, you cannot, the amount of information you're getting is to me, it's not even half of that. So, you know, if you are there, just try it. If it doesn't work for you, I mean, you just have to decide your own. But when you go on the program, she has laid down every details, and she has all these experts coming and giving you more advice, more, things to do. And if you don't put your work to that, it's not gonna work. But if you do, I'm 100% you're gonna get some result. It could be steady, like small, it could be fast. It all depends how serious you are, in you approaching the membership. So
Yeah, every child is uniquely different. Yes,
exactly.
yes.
So, and it depends also how you doing things, how serious you are about it, because my thinking is like, I don't want to get old and this guy be dependent on me. I don't want to do that. I want to be free when I get old. I don't have to think about him, what he's doing, or the system would take him away from me, So I don't want to do that, or stay in the group home, I didn't want to do that, So this membership and mentorship it has done so much for me and my family. Now we can really say, now we can enjoy the family vacation together, and we don't have to be running after him all the time, or sometimes we don't even go on vacation because we don't know what we're going to face,
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
I do
even,
know.
one time, I remember one time he was around maybe 4, he wasn't talking then, and he ran out of our house. And I was downstairs doing laundry. He ran out of our house, open, thinking like I was gone. So I didn't even hear him getting out of the house. So, and the police in our complex, the neighbor called the police, and the police came. And then when I came out of the basement, I saw that the door was open. I thought like somebody came in, because sometimes I'll close the door, I will lock it. So, and then I went upstairs and I didn't see him. I said, oh, he's gone. So I ran out, and then as I was walking, I saw the police car. He was in the police car, and they were knocking every single house in our neighborhood to know whose child is this.
That is terrifying.
He couldn't speak. That's what to tell you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So, yeah. So, and I was like, I cannot do this. I have to heal this child. So just based on those things, I wasn't in trouble. So on behalf for, I wasn't in
we
trouble.
get into crisis enough to make us do
So
something.
I told
right?
the officer, I said, I didn't know he's autistic. They're like, okay. I just signed some paperwork and then took my child and left. So that day also I cried. I cried, and and Kalen didn't have any friend. Now he's having friends, like he has 1, 2 friends now. I wouldn't say they are best friends, but
but he's getting more social and having more friends, and as time goes on, that
now.
will increase.
Yes, when he go to the social, he play with the other kids. You would not know that boy was like 5 years ago, he was like that today.
Yeah, it is amazing, isn't it?
He has changed so much. And I'm just thankful to you. I am really thankful to you. So, and this was an honor to be here to share this story, and, and take it seriously. It's serious. This is about your child, and this is about his well-being. This is about God, bless you with this child. and you are the one caring for him, whatever you do for him, it's gonna be the most important thing that you would do for him for the rest of his life. So fight and get these kids out of this. It's not terminal, it's not eternal. It's true, it can be treated. You just have to put the work to it.
Yeah. And understanding that the purpose really is, some people say, well, there's nothing wrong with my child. I know that they're feeling a lot of fear and their own worry and even sometimes shame around it. This is really the purpose of this whole thing. And what I went through on my journey 16 years ago, actually, my son will be 26 next week.
Wow.
And and looking back at how he was as a child, his life was, as you're explaining, Nanti, his life was unhappy and lonely. He was having tantrums. He is the most mellowest, easygoing guy now. He's graduated college. He lived 1,000 miles away in his own apartment when he went to college. He's absolutely fine. He has his himself back. He can be who he truly is. He has that quality of life, his own independence, tons of friends. These are all things that I wondered one day, will he have those? And, to improve your child's quality of life really in any way you can is so important. And it is why once I did so much education and research and had implementing and had my own results with my own son, that I thought, how could I not share this with others? There are so many, there are 1 in 39 kids now are being diagnosed with autism. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, I have their answers if I could just reach all of them. So I ask people, please share. I have a masterclass coming up. If you're going to be listening to this live, April 2nd, go to naturallyrecoveringautism.com/masterclass, register for the free event that I will be teaching. And then at the end of that, I will open up enrollment to my program if that's something you're interested in. If you don't hear this live or when the masterclass is happening, that link will then take you to the wait list for the next time we do it. And I want to make sure that you get the resources you need and that you have the help you need, because I know, again, the isolation as well and how lonely this can be, and the searching and the confusion behind it. And so that's why I thought, okay, give support, show the roadmap, the steps, and all of it, because there are so many things that are often missed in every other program that I've seen. I just don't see a complete A to Z.
Yes. There's no as informational as this. I mean, this is you just have to be a member to know what kind of information you're gonna get. And like you said, that if you get on the waiting list, that should tell them that it's so many people wanting to do this, because when I did it so quick last year, and then I told one of my friends to join. So when she went, it was already over. Like you had already closed it. Yeah. So she's like, oh, how did you get in? I said, because I was making sure that, you
took action.
I said, stuff like this, it can be open like all year round. Otherwise it's going to be too much for her. I said, so she probably have limited people that she's going to take, and then just to focus on that. And that, I like that, So, and also when I got to the program, I mean, the people, the parents on the program, they're sharing their stuff, it's just overwhelming. Like, I'm like, wow, so I'm not the only one.
Yes.
So look at all these people here asking questions, what to do and what. I'm like, and then all over the world, So I'm like, I'm so glad I did this. It's not even like you giving us all this, but the support that you have with the other parents, and seeing them, and it just pushes you to do your best for your child, and for that there's no price,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, really, how can you put a price on
yeah,
it? That's why
yeah,
I look at the value and the amount of information and everything that's given, and just understanding the time and the resources, the work, the expenses that you'll save too. And
yes,
that was my thought, because I went through the same thing. I spent all the time, the money, everything, trying to figure it out. And so if I could just streamline this down and walk them through it, I'm going to just be able to help save parents so much of that.
yeah. It
And
is.
that has been my goal, and it's been very successful. And
It,
I'm grateful to you, Nanti, for joining and taking the step to say, I'm going to try this, even if you're
yeah,
skeptical, because you thought, well, what if? And now look at the
yeah.
results that you've got.
Yeah, I said, let me try for a year. And then,
Mhm.
because this thing, people think like, when you start a little bit and after a couple of months, no, you have to keep going a little longer. It's not just, it takes long. It took long for these kids all these years, because Karen and I, yours was like 10 years, right? When you really, yeah. So mine, yeah, 10 years, I enrolled in this program, and now I've seen so much, improvement in him and his well-being too. So he's rarely sick, that
Yes,
one
and
too.
that's
He's,
nice for you and
yeah,
for him and for
he's rarely sick, except sometimes he would just have a, cold here and then,
because
and
it improves his immune system so much. What we
exactly.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. And then one thing too. So the egg, I didn't know he was allergic to the egg. So before your program, I took him everywhere, and the ENT doctors, we went to the neurologist, we went to the,
Yeah.
they did the head scan to see he was complaining about headaches all the time. And I didn't know what to do. I was so worried. And I said, okay, maybe he has something. He was complaining about the head all the time, hurting. Like I would tell you, like 4 or 5 times a week, he would complain. And I didn't know. I was putting eggs in some stuff. I didn't know that he was allergic to that. And so I checked that was like before, when I got your, and then I read all your stuff. I read it first before I started anything. Then I'm like, oh my God. Then I said, let me take the egg out of his diet and see, because you said there is no dairy. So, and I took that. He never had any more headache.
Think of that, all those appointments, neurologists.
Yeah, and they would check his ears. And because me, I don't know about all these things.
Right, there's so much to know. Who can know all that?
Even like to the children's hospital, they did the testing. So I said, so they don't tell you anything. And I'm like, so, but can you test him, like not test for allergy, like a seasonal allergy? I want you to test. They said, oh, we don't do that. We don't do food testing. I said, then who does?
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is children's hospital,
Right. Wow.
So yeah, I said, okay. And the ENT too, I go there, and then I even changed 2 doctors. It's like a group of doctors. So the one that we usually go, I changed to another, and thinking like maybe he would tell me something different from the other one.
Yeah, that's always the hope with the new doctor. I'll try somebody else. I'll try somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah. He said, oh, because of his autism, they just think like when your child has autism, that's it. Like that's the death sentence.
I know.
There's nothing they do that will work for them. And it's so frustrating. And so he's like, his ear is, there's nothing there. I said, so sometimes I get out of there so mad, and I pay my copay, which is $45. I'm like, I wasted my money for no reason. So now I went and through the books, and then I went some books and then read, and and your book also I have. And then I'm like, okay, so all these things now came up, since I've been on the program. I'm so well informed now. And then when I see other parents, I'm like, okay, go to Karen's, or sometimes I'll tell them, you need to cut this out, you need to do this, So, and some of them do stuff, what I'm telling them, they're like, how did you get all this information? I said, make sure you tune in next month, because she's coming and having.
And I would send people to my website. That's one of the easiest things to do. I tell people, like,
said,
what do I do? I'm like, just send them to my website, naturallyrecoveringautism.com.
I share
it's the easiest
so
thing for
much,
you to remember.
Your website to so many people. They're like, who is Karen? I said, here, go to her website. You know who she is. I said, she's been in your shoes too. So she's, I said, she has helped so many people, and including me. And then they're like, okay, we are waiting to to be. So probably some would do, some would not. But some people too, they so rely on these doctors telling them what to do, and it's just mind blowing that you would listen to somebody about your own child,
especially if
you've
you're
been with
not
them
getting
all
any results.
right. You've been with them all this time. You have not still, you are at the same place where you were before. Why don't you change? Why don't you change?
Try something new. Education is absolutely the key.
Exactly. If the people are not educated, then they will never be able to help their kids.
That's why I always hope people, I mean, I have one mom, she shared, like you did in a video for us, her son is 37 years old. She is getting results with him for the first time. Imagine 37 years of it since she's been in the program. Another mom, 27-year-old son, was nonverbal until the program, my program, same thing. Now she's getting results. Think of all of those years of things they've tried. And and then I'm always, the parents who find this early on, I'm like, you're so lucky, because for me, it took me a long time, and you and others, like, it's just, it's never too late. I always tell everyone that, but to be able to find this sooner than later is to save you and your child the worry, the chaos, the discomfort, the illness, the everything,
the
agony. Absolutely.
The stress even that come with it, because sometimes I get up in the middle of the night, and then I pray, and please bring somebody to me that will guide me in this process, as I go. And God, has answered my prayers, by getting on your program, which I'm thankful. And I will tell everybody, there's a lot of help there, but help is different from help. So you just have to dig into your own research, and then tell who is helping you from the bottom of their heart, and who is taking the money from you just for their own interest. So, and this is just to tell you, your child can be cured if you really put the work to it. She has all the information for you, and it's up to you to help your child. She cannot do that for you. She will educate you, and then provide you with tools, and you have access to all these things that he's putting there in the membership. You have to put the work to it, because she has done what she can do for you. But you to have to do what is good for you, you know. And if you don't put the work to it, it's not gonna work. It's not. It's a tons of information and they are phenomenal information, but you have to put the work to it.
Mhm.
If you don't, if you don't put it in, because you work hard to come where you are to the where your child is today, with your hard work. If you did not give up, and you saw the result of your perseverance. If you did not do that, you would be sitting here today. You wouldn't be, I wouldn't be talking to your show today.
I always say that there was always, of course, a reason why my son was diagnosed, so that I could go through this journey and do what I did, so that I could create this program to be able to mentor parents. The program is in over 40 countries already, worldwide, to be able to get these resources, because I want to see these kids get better, and I want to see you have the help, as a parent, that you need. And that is my mission, is to help everyone create a better quality of life for their child, to whatever level that may be for them. It's different for everybody. But any improvement is worth everything. And for the whole family. So Nanti, again, thank you so much for being here and for sharing this very inspirational story. I greatly really appreciate everything that you've done, and for the benefit of our listeners to understand. And please, anybody, share this episode with your friends, Facebook groups, anywhere you can, that could reach people who are in need of this information. And of course, always you can send people to my website, naturallyrecoveringautism.com. Give this podcast a like as well, leave a comment, and help share it. Again, that's what really helps a lot of people, is just being able to find it, because my goal is to reach millions of parents, worldwide. And I need help to do that. I put it out there as much as I can, but word of mouth is so wonderful to help share that the news to travel, so they can make up their own minds once they at least have the introduction and the information, so that I can help educate those and support those who are in need and who want that support. So and thank you so much, Nanti. I appreciate it.
I want to thank you. Thank you for all what you do, for the hard work you put into this to help people. And we appreciate you, and with all your people that work with you in the business also. And we truly, truly thank you. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Wow. And for everybody out there, let's fight this fight, and let's get our kids healed, because they can be healed.
Yes. Amen to that.
Amen. All right, Karen.
Take care. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you very soon. All right. Thanks again.
You're welcome.